Hello.
Hi, Tracy. I'm promoting you to a panelist right now. All right.
Okay, cool. Now you can see me.
What's that?
I said, now you can see me, or at least you can hear me. Let's do
I can
this.
hear you. I can see your picture. Now I can
There we
see
are.
you.
Yay.
All right. And you should have ability to share your screen now.
Okay.
Your little share screen button should be lit up down there.
Yep.
Awesome.
Fabulous.
And I am going to set us up here to go live on Facebook here in just a minute.
Okay. Is anybody else?
Nobody else is on yet, so we'll give it a couple of minutes.
Cool.
And then, like I said, what we'll do is we will I'm gonna go Facebook Live with this as well as
Awesome.
doing it here on Zoom. And then we will also, after we're done, I'll put it up on YouTube.
Wonderful. I appreciate you doing all of that exposure for us.
Well, it's one of those things where, with us doing it as quickly as we did, we probably didn't have the ability to promote it the way we would love to.
Yeah. Well, we have the webinar on the 10th that we can give people also. We can push that out with more advance notice, and then, I'll be around. I'm not going anywhere. I can do stuff in the future too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So hello, it's nice to meet you, by the way.
It's nice to meet you officially. And I'm trying to set up my little background screen here real quick because I realized that
oh, I should probably learn how to do that.
All right. Just because we have a webinar partner, the Broomfield Enterprise actually pays for our they paid for our webinar module.
Nice.
So we like to give them a little bit of a shout when we can.
You know what? I just I invited a person that I was supposed to meet with today, and I was like, I have people signed up, so I can't. Let me send her the new info.
Yeah, what I realized was that when we changed the date, I didn't change the date in Zoom, so it wouldn't let me access the old webinar.
Got it. That makes sense. I'm like, yeah, it was like it's expired. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's right now.
Yeah, it was. That was my fault.
Let me get some more water since nobody's here yet.
All right, we'll start here in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and set us up on Facebook.
Okay. Mama? You want coffee, Mama? No? Okay. That's fine too.
Hi, Kim, if you're in the room, we are getting ready to start here in just a minute, and we are getting ready, we're prepping a YouTube stream here. So give us just a second and we'll get started.
Do we have people in?
Kim Da Silva is one of our attendees today.
Okay, wonderful. Do we get to see Kim, or is it just us that we can see?
If Kim wants to ask a question, I can enable her microphone. Or if any of our attendees today want to ask a question, I can enable microphone.
Wonderful. I like to interact and answer questions, so that would be great.
You bet.
I also have a Body Mind Aligned fitness group on Facebook. Would this be something we could share to the group as well?
Once the video gets uploaded to YouTube after the fact, you can share it to whoever you'd like.
Great. I'll put it on both profile pages in the Body Mind Aligned fitness group.
All right, and we are starting up our Facebook Live here. So since we are a little past 12 o'clock, we can go ahead. Tracy, if you're ready, we can go ahead and get started.
Sure. Hello, Pat. Hello. Who else do we have with us today so far in the?
Kim is with us right now, and others will be joining us, I'm sure. We also have a Facebook Live audience today.
Wonderful. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Kim. Pat, great to see you in person. Thank you guys for joining myself and Profile by Sanford, which is my company, to learn a little more. So I would really like to start with kind of Kim, since you are the person in the chat. Can you tell me what drew you to participating with us today and what questions you have? Well, we can start from there. I'd just like to know a little more about you.
I don't know that I have any specific questions right now.
Okay.
I find that this topic, especially being in a food bank, I head up a food bank here in Louisville called Community Food Share. So we work with 3 partner agencies, and for us, part of what we do also really connects to health and hunger in terms of how healthy eating can provide to healthy individuals. So anytime we can look at ways we can incorporate health into what we do, it's a positive for the community.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you for sharing.
And we do have a couple of other folks, Tracy, in the room. And before we get to them, I did want to mention real quickly,
Sure.
just housekeeping, that this is a Broomfield Chamber of Commerce Education Series webinar. I'm Pat Monticelli from the Broomfield Chamber. I am kind of driving the bus today, and Tracy Ravel from Profile by Sanford is our presenter today. And
awesome.
up here in the corner, you see the Broomfield Enterprise is our webinar partner. The enterprise makes webinars that we put on available. That makes it possible for us to do that. So we really, really want to thank the Broomfield Enterprise for their partnership with the Broomfield Chamber. Now, having said all that, I'm going to return it back over to Tracy. And Tracy, we've got Kitty and Jim also in the live audience on Zoom today. If you want to ask them the same question you asked Kim.
Absolutely. So Kitty, hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So I, like I said, I really do an interactive presentation, and I just would like to know kind of what people are wanting to know and what brought them to the presentation today, so I can keep that in mind while I'm presenting. So besides, kind of us meeting this way, is there anything that you specifically would like to get out of the presentation?
Well, I'm not really sure. I'm in the information gathering phase, I guess, of this.
Wonderful.
I'm an integrative performance coach. So anything that I can learn to help my clients become more healthy or do things that support their performance, that's what I try to do. So I guess that's, why I'm here as well, is to see how maybe this might be able to help my clients going forward too.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're good at doing that at Profile, so I think we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Okay, perfect.
Jim, is that what you said, Pat? It's Jim that's in as well?
I believe it's Jim Thibodeau, yes.
Okay. Jim, can you hear us?
Mode.
Huh?
He may be in listen-only mode.
Okay, great. So we'll go ahead and get started. This is a very broad over range, if you will, of macros, micros, balancing food intake, really what our bodies need, and from a really biochemical, what makes our bodies run best, what do muscles need, what do bones need, et cetera, because there's so much information out there and it gets really, really overwhelming. And, you know, we, through the years, there's a popular diet one year and then it's another diet the next year. And what's really real and what really helps us, Kitty, to speak to your point, helps us have best performance, feel best, have best energy. What really have we evolved as people to need in our bodies? So macros through meal prep, making it super easy for people to just think about balancing out their food and changing their relationship with food and how they feed their bodies and keep themselves balanced mentally, emotionally, physically, and performing best in their lives, their everyday lives. So basically, starting with macro and micro, have you guys all heard the term macro and micro? And Pat, can the live stream people interact with us as well? Pat, no? Okay, so macro and micro, basically it's macros would be proteins, fats, carbohydrates, super simple, the big pieces of the nutrition puzzle. And the micros would be vitamins, minerals, and the smaller things that really help our bodies run most effectively. If you think about our bodies, we're very much 90% water. So keeping electrolytes balanced, keeping the vitamins that run the different processes in our bodies running most effectively, so forth. Vitamins, minerals, super important, and balancing all of that. Vitamins are water soluble, fat soluble. So again, being aware of what we're eating to have best absorption and again, better performance than in our lives. If we don't have a fat soluble eaten, taken with fat, it's not going to process most effectively in our body. So it's just keeping stuff like that in mind, right? Questions, comments, thoughts on any of that? Okay. So the real story on carbs. Everybody has heard carbs are bad, carbs are good, etc. So the real story on carbs, if you think carbohydrate, basically what carbs do is work with water balance in our body and energy balance in our body. So what happens is if you're cutting carbs out, your body doesn't hold on to as much water, carbohydrate. So that's why the notion of having the lower carb kind of helps with that water balance and energy balance in our bodies. The real story on carbs is, bottom line, it's sugar. So complex carbs, simple carbs. Why complex carbs are preferable to eat are that they last longer in our body. Our body has to work harder, if you will, to process them. So our blood sugar and our metabolism stays more level versus a simple carb, bread, sugar, cereal, etc. That breaks down a lot faster and we can get those blood sugar spikes, which also affects our metabolism. And our body starts going, I don't really know what's going on. And it starts storing more fat and more energy stores, right? Bottom line, carbs, energy, because it doesn't know exactly what's going on because everything gets out of whack. Questions, comments, thoughts on that? Carbs are a big topic with performance and energy throughout the day. No, you guys aren't going to talk to me, are you? So it's not necessarily a good versus bad thing. It's just kind of keeping in mind where you are and what your body processes best. Now, one of the cool things about Profile, my company, is that we base all of our programs on how your body processes carbs most effectively. We have what's called a precise test. That is a genetic test that literally looks at how your body processes carbs, fat, etc., so that we know what program to put you on and how your body is going to process best for losing weight, for feeling best, for performance energy levels throughout your life, right?
Tracy, I do have a quick question for you.
Yay, please.
Talking about carbs, we see so many different things. As you said, there seems to be a fad, a different diet every month almost.
Exactly.
And I've seen a lot recently, especially in response to keto type diets, where
right.
The carbs have again become the bad guy in any form. And from what I hear you saying, it really just depends on a person's biology.
Literally, I was talking to somebody last month who had a genetic test and her body didn't process fat right or well, for, more effective terms. So keto is bad for her, right? It literally depends on a person's body. I know for me, I don't process carbs well. My family just doesn't. So it's very genetic in how you process best. Again, why keto works for a lot of people is it's the water. And people, if we don't eat a lot of carbs, we don't hold on to a lot of water. So it's, again, balancing all of that out so that it's biochemically our bodies run better. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Cool. Now, again, the thing with Profile is we start everybody on a mild ketogenic phase, if you will, but all that means is we kick their body into less carbs so that they burn fat more effectively. But we have people starting with carbs in their diets. Again, it's just according to what they can and can't process.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question. So protein. And I have handouts that I can send you guys that talks about what I'm talking about with protein, fat, and carbs, fiber also, if you're interested. So protein is the building block of our bodies. Everything in our bodies comes from protein. Muscles, skins, hormones, blood, everything in our body, the building block is the protein. Now, again, some people's bodies, we need more. Some people's bodies need less. The more active you are, the more protein you need because your body just burns and breaks down muscle tissue, etc. Hormones need to be rebalanced if you're more active. It's just a whole different thing. So again, taking into account your activity level, your genetics, so forth. Protein also keeps us more satiated, right? Along with fat. So again, carbs are sugar. So our bodies tend to process and burn through it very fast. We need protein and fat to help balance all of that out. So the blood sugar and the metabolism stays more level too. General rule of thumb with protein, a sedentary man will need about 56 grams a day, and a sedentary woman will need about 46 grams a day. Again, depends on all of those other factors, but that's a general rule, okay? If you eat tons and tons and tons, more than your body needs, your body will automatically turn it into carbs. It'll automatically turn it into what it needs. So it doesn't do you any good to just overdose on protein either. Again, it's that balance, right? Pat, do you have a question? No.
No, I'm good right now, but thank you. I will say that, you know, several years ago when I was losing a lot of weight, I was, you know, we were operating under that time, you know, again, this is 13 years or so ago, but where, you know, everything was protein.
Right.
Eat all the protein you can handle. And, you know, with more research, I think we've found that that's not always the case.
Again, it's the balance, right? Everything. Cool. Thank you. So the lovely discussion of, you know, fat. So I remember I've been in the fitness business literally my whole life. And I remember back in the early days of my career, if you will, that was, I'm like, I lived on carrots and bagels because that's what they told us, that fat would turn into fat. And yeah, so I ate none. And now everybody's having to really shift into, oh, okay, our bodies really need fat. So again, it helps satiate, it helps keep your energy level, and metabolism, blood sugar, all of that good stuff running more effectively. It's also really good for balancing out inflammation. If you have a lot of inflammation in your body, in fact, it can help brains work more effectively. If you think about your brain is made out of fat. So keto was actually created, you all might know this, you might not. Keto was actually created for epileptic people because it balanced out their brain and the brain chemistry. So it's good for a lot of things in our bodies. It's good to eat the unsaturated, monounsaturated avocados, olive oil, omega-3s from fish. Don't clog arteries, feed our bodies effectively, help us hydrate, hold on to things, help our skin be softer, insulate the body, right? We store it for survival. You know, we essentially are hunters and gatherers, and our bodies still run that way. We just sit at desks or do whatever we do all day. So it's still what our body does. Speaking on the omega-3, there's a lot of processed foods these days that have a lot of omega-6s in them, which actually will increase inflammation. So just really be careful and kind of notice that as well. Different sources of fat. Saturated fats, okay, in moderation, coconut oil, meat fat, right? So again, we evolved eating meat. So it's not that it's bad, it's just being careful with what we're eating and the balance of it. Pat, you came on the screen. Did you have a question? No? Okay, cool. So don't be afraid of fat. Just, again, looking at your food intake as fueling your body for how it runs best. And it will be able to balance itself out effectively if we change our relationship with how we actually look at food, right? Questions, comments, thoughts? Again, fat's a big topic. No. So, you guys that are in the chat, what are your thoughts on meal prep? Do you meal prep for the week? Is it something you're needing some support with, etc.? And then we can go from there on the meal prep piece.
I'll kick it off.
Cool, thanks.
And hopefully other folks will jump in. You know, I think meal prep for me is one of the, it shouldn't be hard, but it is, because I just, you know, I get around to Sunday afternoon and I really don't feel like cooking for a whole week.
Okay.
And so, you know, I think that I could probably use a few tips on it. You know, my right now, my method of meal prep is whatever the leftovers were from the night before.
Okay.
And that's really as far as it goes.
So do you have like 5 go-tos that you like to eat during the week, things that are simple for you to prepare that wouldn't make it overwhelming for you to think about doing that for the week?
You know, maybe. Unfortunately, most of my go-tos are stuff that, you know, they were all the bad things on your list. So.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, plus the fact that my wife and I are empty nesters, so it is a you know, it's more difficult for us to get inspired to cook, because we're, you know, sometimes one of us isn't hungry and the other one doesn't want to cook for themselves.
Okay. So it would help you to have things in the freezer, things in the fridge that you can just grab
right
at those times. Great. Okay. So starting to think about, again, meals for nutrition according to like what we just talked about, instead of throwing things together. That changing your relationship with food. At Profile, that's really our focus, is helping people change their relationship with food, so they are thinking about fueling their bodies for energy and performance, instead of like what I will eat, what I won't eat. I did a lunch and learn with the doctor's office yesterday, and the receptionist was telling me, you know, it's challenging for her getting out in the morning because she has the kids and she has to do this and she has to do that. So she's running around, and then she grabs a bag of Cheetos, right? So she'll have a Cheetos and Diet Coke for breakfast. And then she says it's a spiral for the rest of her day. She eats bad because she thinks she's already blown it.
Oh.
And I hear that a lot. It's true for a lot of people. So it's changing that mindset and shifting into, let me plan so that I don't get to that point and I have a good go-to to grab and start my day off right, continue my day right, take care of myself. Does that make sense?
That does. And I do want to mention for the folks that are attending on the Zoom call today, your microphones are active. So I've gone ahead and enabled everybody's microphone. So if you have a question or a comment, please let us know. And you can also pop those down into the chat as well if you prefer to do it that way.
Awesome. Thank you. So 5 go-to meals that make sense nutrition-wise, that you enjoy, that you will eat, instead of being like, yeah, I don't want to eat that, I'm just going to go grab some Cheetos, right? Smart meal prepping techniques, making it really, really simple for yourself. Like, I will have clients that are like, yeah, I just don't have time. And you can go buy a bag of baby carrots, you know, it's already done. Simple, make it simple on yourself, so that way you'll do it. I have a really easy grocery list I can also send out if people are feeling like having a grocery list would help guide you some with your thinking and how you look at food. I can send that out after we're done as well. And then just really the step-by-step planning. So anybody Favorite healthy meals? 5 to 8 go-to meals you can think of that you enjoy. Thinking if it's easy, quick, does it travel well, does it taste good? How can we make it easier on ourselves? So it's thinking of it as taking care of ourselves instead of one more thing we have to figure out, which is another big focus at Profile, is how can we make it easy on people with everything that we have going on in our lives, especially the state of the world right now, right? A lot of everything is super overwhelming. How can we make it easier on ourselves and take out that decision fatigue with what do I eat? How do I take care of myself? How do I get exercise in, etc.? Yeah.
Hey, Tracy, this is Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Hi. So one of my things with, eating healthy is I do have 2 children who are still at home, and they're very finicky eaters, and also very involved in after-school activities, sports, things of that nature. So by the time I get to work, before we go to sports, we have a very limited amount of time. And I don't have time to mess around with food that they won't eat. So our food is always very repetitive, like, grilled chicken, maybe some fruit. I would say it's very boring just because of the fact that I don't have time to create meals for 4 different people. Due to, at times I'd rather them just eat cereal or get something off instead of me wasting my time making things that won't be eaten.
So first of all, what's your question?
Well, I guess my question is that I know the plates that you have out are kind of split into kind of the best practices. Mm-hmm. But so say you only have 2 of those spots to fill. Which would you consider the most important out of those 4 of your perfect plate?
As far as
fueling. Yeah.
In my humble opinion and how my body runs best, protein and veggies. I mean, to me, that is my go-to, right? That's what most of my meals consist of because that's what makes me feel best, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what makes you feel best?
Yeah, I mean, I think protein's always part of it. And then the rest, I think it ebbs and flows, and that's why I'm not a big meal planner because I don't know, I kind of don't know what I'll be in the mood to eat. And when I think that I'm forcing myself to eat something because I planned it, then I definitely don't want it.
Totally what I'm talking about. So how can we make this easier on ourselves, right? To have things that we can grab that we will like. And I'm right there with you. I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't know what my body's going to want to eat. So how can we have things there to make it easy on ourselves? What do your kids like to eat, Kim?
Oh, they're super fit. Well, one is super finicky, and the other one's a little more open. So very plain foods, nothing spicy, nothing too, they're like the grapes, grilled chicken.
Okay.
One might like carrots, the other one doesn't. One likes eggs, the other one doesn't. They really like the carbs, they really love rice. They really love pasta, mac and cheese, all those things that kids seem to love.
Sure. That they can get away with eating.
Yes.
I think that may be my problem, Kim. I think I like the same thing that your kids do.
But again, you guys, we are hunter-gatherer, like wired, and carbs were a treat to us back in those days because they gave us energy to get through our days and to go. So we still crave them because we're still wired like that. Does that make sense? So, Kim, I don't know if it would be of interest to you. Profile does a lot of meal replacements. So we have a lot of bars and shakes and soups and so forth that are already pre-done, that you can just choose what you're in the mood for and go to. Would that be some kind of a, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Compromise with you and your kids and variety?
Possibly. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I mean, we can chat more about that, but that could be a possibility. Like if you had some go-to healthy stuff that, you know, could bridge that gap for you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So circling back around to this picture, 5 meals, getting the little containers, you can find those easily anywhere, and then just portioning out according to what you know that your body needs for you to feel best, right? 5 meals, portioning them out so that you're getting a good balance with everything. And a lot of this, some of this stuff you can freeze, so you can just grab it whenever it's time to go. Some of it you can prep like on a Sunday night so that it's easy. You can do dips, you can do, again, I just make it easy on myself. I buy already packaged, already cut stuff so that it's just, I can grab it, I can make my salad at the end of the day, I'm good to go. How can we make it easy on ourselves to take care of ourselves instead of thinking it's one more thing I have to figure out? You know, Pat, you're shaking your head. See, I can see you, my
I'm
friend.
agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that I want it to be easy.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing I think that where I think at least I've seen my own kids, and they're all adult kids, as I said. But one of the places I've seen them try to do meal prep from time to time. They get into it for about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then they drop off. And part of it is, again, because I think that, you know, they're making one big batch of thing on Sunday night, and they just get, and this alludes back to what I think you and Kim were talking about. They just get tired. You know, by the end of the week, they just get tired of chicken and vegetables.
Right.
So the variety is, you know, making a variety of different meal prep things, I think it can sometimes be daunting. So you end up doing one thing for a week, and then you just get burned out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's, you know, that to me, I think is a hurdle for some people.
So what do you guys think about this idea with the five meals, different portions, different, what's the word I'm looking for? Compartments.
I think
With
it's a good
this,
idea.
okay.
You know, and again, this is I think there's a lot of this. I mean, I would eat everything that's on that screen, you know,
Perfect.
but then I would probably eat like 3 of them. So
You would eat 3 of them.
I have to work on portion control.
Well, maybe we should chat a little more about the Profile Back on Track Challenge and the portion control. Awesome. Okay. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? That was an awesome discussion. So nutrition goals, again, portion control, mindful eating, paying attention so that we're taking care of ourselves and eating for nutrition and for changing how we see food, fueling our bodies with how we run best. Our genetic testing that we do really helps people know, so they really know how to eat and take care of themselves. And then, yeah, just noticing if you're, a lot of what we do at Profile is the cornerstone of our work is coaching, the one-on-one coaching and the personalized plan. So just noticing there's a lot of emotional triggers with eating and not eating healthfully, not taking care of ourselves that we work with at Profile and help people start to notice instead of just kind of, again, letting all of that take over. There's a lot of emotional eating happening, especially right now with the overwhelm of the all it is. Having good knife set to cut up vegetables, cutting board, little containers so that you can do the different compartments, portions, be mindful of all of that. And then juicer, lemon and lime. So I'll talk about that next. If the food will last, right? So can we put the food in different containers and will it last? Like, you can't put a salad with dressing in a container. It's going to be bad in 2 days. So, you know, thinking about not putting dressing on the lettuce. So make yourself, you know, give yourself the best odds to be successful. Putting a sandwich in paper because it will keep it more fresh. Fruit, oxygen breaks down fruit. So keeping it more whole until you're ready to eat it. So we have bananas, that's a fruit. Obviously, bananas will go bad when they're the most one we think about that'll go bad easily, being in oxygen. Now, the thing with avocados, you can put lemon and lime on avocados. That was the juicer piece, and they'll stay fresh for longer than if they're cut up and just exposed to the air and just in the container. Prepackaged salad, again, how can we make it easy, simple to work with the compartments, take out the decision fatigue to have ourselves be successful, and you know, prepare stuff that we'll actually eat. Right? Meal menu planner, grocery list. Again, I have super easy grocery list and food lists that I can send you guys, menu planners that I can send you guys. If you're interested, you're more than welcome to do a free consultation with one of our people also, so that you can chat about some of this stuff and how you can make changes that work. Okay. Eating before you go to the grocery store. Has everybody heard that one before? It's pretty simple, but a lot of us just don't do it. And then we go to the grocery store, and who was talking about the mac and cheese? Right? Yep. We buy that. We buy that kind of stuff because bodies are like, I need energy. And so they, yeah. Has everybody heard the shopping on the outside lanes of the supermarket?
No, I haven't heard that one.
So if you think about it, where is the produce section? It's on the outside
on the side. Yeah.
Right. The deli, all of the fresh food is on the outside perimeter. All of the more processed food that has all the chemicals and all the stuff and all the, you know, the carbs and the go-to stuff that we want to we want to avoid to take care of ourselves. It's more in the middle, right? The Cheetos, etc., the Diet Cokes, etc. Right? Shopping perimeter of the store, you're going to be eating fresh, healthy, more fruits and vegetables, etc. So just knowing your store floor plan, and I know our stores change a lot, so just paying attention. There's a lot of curbside. There's a lot of being able to order and just pick it up, making it easy on yourself, looking at what you really want to be eating to fuel your body, and being smart instead of those emotional triggers, if you will, and running off of that. Okay, so again, really, really, really broad, basic overview of macros and micros and how to be successful and why we want to pay attention to all of that. questions, comments, thoughts, please?
Well, I'll start with one.
Great.
And just this kind of, and maybe it's a question and a comment. One of the things that we talked about when we were setting up this education session, and one of the things that came to my mind immediately was that it would seem to me that eating healthy, being healthier, those sorts of things are critical not only for health in general, but also for health in your business. I mean, I would make an
Totally.
assumption that you perform better in whatever your job function is when you're healthier and feel better. Do you see that correlation?
Absolutely 100%. So, as I mentioned, I don't think we were recording yet. I have a group called Body Mind Aligned Fitness, because it's super important to have all of it balanced to be able to be most effective in your life and your business. I mean, if your body is deprived of, carbs and fat balance, if you will, and your brain isn't functioning to its best capacity, you're not going to be making really great decisions. You're not going to be serving your clients as well, right? So that taking care of ourselves first, and it's the hardest piece for a lot of us, a lot of us want to really serve people, want to take care of people, want to do everything that we can do, and we forget that setting those boundaries and taking care of ourselves first has to be the bottom line for us to be most effective. And I've had to learn that too, right? Yeah, absolutely.
And I have another question, but I'm going to wait because I want to make sure that nobody else that's in the face or in the Zoom call has any other questions.
So Kim, I would love to hear you tag on to what I just said about performance in your business, since that's what you do. Or not Kim, Kitty, I'm sorry.
Hi. Yeah, I think that having a healthy diet, all the things that you're talking about are super important. If you don't have those components, I do know that they create brain fog and a myriad of other issues when it comes to being able to perform at your peak level, whether it's in sport or business leadership and that kind of thing. It's so funny that you mentioned the outside of the grocery store, because that's one of the things that I talk about in a lot of my trainings.
Awesome.
And the thing is, when I'm like, so are you eating healthy? And they're like, well, what does that mean? I said, are you shopping on the outside of the store? I said, do not go on the inside. That's where all the processed foods and things that cause inflammation in your gut and everything else. And we don't need that inflammation in the gut. Because that has all the good yumminess in it, like the serotonin and, everything else. But yeah, I think that having a healthy meal and, doing some of the things that you're talking about is super, super important. And
Awesome.
It's one of the things that I encourage all of my clients to do.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
We at Profile, we were created by our doctors and researchers at Sanford Health. So we do a lot of partnering with doctors, and it's like, the thing is, they don't have time to talk to people about all of this very much. They just go eat right and exercise, and people don't know what that means.
No, they don't.
So they need that support, and I mean, everybody wants to feel good, right?
Yeah, they do, actually. That's why they end up with me. So.
Yeah. So how do we help them do that? So at Profile, we really work step by step with helping people change their relationship with food and start to think of getting activity into their life, non-scale victories, so that they're looking at, you know, maybe they were able to work a 12-hour day without exhaustion, right? Whereas usually they get, you know, 8 hours, they're just done. Instead of just looking at the number on the scale, it's like, how are we shifting our entire life, our mindset, our relationship with food, which essentially equates to our relationship in our life.
Exactly. I agree.
Cool. Well, then I'm glad you did this presentation with us today.
Me too.
Any other thoughts on that?
No, I don't think so, but thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. Kim?
No questions on my end. This is really helpful.
Oh, good. It was helpful. Wonderful. Wonderful. Jim? No. Okay. Pat, do we have anybody else on Facebook Live?
We don't have any questions on Facebook Live at the moment.
Okay.
But I did have one other question for you before
Please.
we move to the next thing. And this is sort of this is a personal question for me. Are there any foods? I have a big appetite. You know, I'm 6'4". You know, I eat a lot. And one of the things that I always struggle with, even when I lost a lot of weight several years ago, is always feeling, you know, hungry and always, you know, sitting there, you know, if I'm watching a movie that I want to watch, you know, I get that urge to nibble.
Mhm.
Are there things that you can eat that are, and I don't want to say free foods, but, you know, are there things that you can eat that you can kind of satiate an appetite without busting your waistline?
Well, first of all, you want to look at why you want to munch. Second of all, yes, I mean, it's not as much fun, but baby carrots. I like to snack on jicama a lot. Do you know what jicama is?
No, I don't.
Okay, you can actually buy it already prepped and cut and in containers. It's a tuberous vegetable, I guess. I guess it's technically a root vegetable, but it, like, in this day and age of creative cooking, it's made into a lot of like fries and different stuff like that. It's kind of like cauliflower, but you can buy jicama and just snack on it. It's crunchy and it's got a little bit of sweet to it. So, you know, there's different things in. Do you like celery?
Yeah.
See, it's like all boring stuff. I know,
Only if it's full of onion dip, then it's awesome.
But again, we have a lot of dressings, we have a lot of dip mixes and different stuff like that at Profile.
Sure.
You can find a lot of dips and different things that are better for you.
And I think that's probably the key. So what you're telling me is there are no free cookies, you know? No, I'm kidding. But,
depends on the cookie.
Gotcha.
So
I did want to, you know, moving on to something I know you wanted to touch base on is the challenge that you have coming up.
So we are doing a 6-week back on track challenge with Profile, and it is 6 weeks, 6 different goals in 6 areas of your life. So again, our entire focus is helping people shift how they're taking care of themselves in their lives rather than just focusing on food and weight. So it really has to be a lifestyle shift for people. So the Back on Track Challenge is 6 weeks, and it's $199 for the entire 6 weeks. You get the starter kit that we give people when they become members with us. You get 2 weeks of Profile food, and you get the one-on-one coaching, which $199 for 6 weeks of personalized coaching, use of the app. the smart scale that we have, all of the challenges, all of the information. It's a really great deal.
Awesome.
Yeah. And everybody gets a free consultation. We really want to chat with people to see what they need and if Profile and if the challenge will be a good fit for them and help them with what they're wanting to do in their lives.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tracy, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting us do this. We also have another webinar, you guys, on February 10th that we're going to be sending out information for. So watch for that. And it will be with Profile across the country too. So there'll be a lot more people on it.
Great, great. And I do want to mention that from the chamber perspective, again, thank you to the Broomfield Enterprise for being our webinar partner. What we've just done here, this education series will be available on Facebook, on the chamber's Facebook page. It will also be available on the chamber's YouTube channel. So if you would like to share this with anybody else that may not have been able to make it today, you can just go to youtube.com and search Broomfield Chamber of Commerce. You'll see it on there. It should be up probably by Monday morning. So lots of opportunities for you to share this information. And we do these education series at the chamber as often as we can, at least once a month. We're doing them virtually right now due to COVID, and eventually we'll get back to doing them in person. But if anyone has any recommendations for any other webinars, education series webinars that you'd like us to pursue, drop us a line at the chamber, info@broomfieldchamber.com. We want to build this education series around the things that are really important to our business community, our community in general. So please never be afraid to suggest topics for us. Tracy, thanks again so much.
You're welcome. And if you want a free consultation, email me, tracy.ravel@profileplan.com. If you're interested in the challenge, let me know. Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it.
All right, great. So we will see everybody next time. I'm going to end this webinar. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you again next time.
Thanks, Pat.
Bye-bye.